think she threw the case. I
Those
don't know what else it could be.
Right. Those two fumbles on the Comey prosecution and the Letitia James prosecution were solely based on, at the very least, rank incompetence by the Department of Justice and they're on Pam Bondi's shoulders. And so, those got, I mean, those should have been, those, like Alan Dershowitz famously said, you can indict a ham sandwich. Those indictments should have come back in week one before the appointment expired. And of course, Lindsay Halligan, I agree with you on the reading of the statute. And now you got a statute of limitations problem with Comey. You've got a problem. You might be able to circumvent it by various legal arguments, maybe, but you got an issue. You should never have had the issue to begin with.
Yeah, why waste? Why the risk it?
Correct. You cannot allow what's happened, going back, Tom, with these Democrat prosecutions has been an absolute bastardization of the Constitution. The J6 prosecutions were a bastardization of the Constitution, violating the Equal Protection Clause. In my book, Kangaroo Court, I do an analysis of J6 prosecutions versus George Floyd prosecutions. You may or may not know this is chapter 35. 95% of all the George Floyd prosecutions in the misdemeanor categories, whether trespass or curfew violations, were dismissed. On the other hand, 98% of all J6 prosecutions were put to the metal. In other words, the U.S. attorney and the district attorney for the District of Columbia went full force, dismissed virtually none. They took, this section of the Sarbanes-Oxley Act, which is a document shredding provision. They twisted it around so they could charge Trump folks with felonies when no felony existed. It was a bastardization of our criminal program, of our criminal justice system there in D.C. It was an assault on the Constitution. Merrick Garland should be held responsible. The U.S. attorney should be held responsible. When you weaponize the justice system, you've attacked the Constitution. And Pam Bondi is sitting back, and we're waiting and waiting and waiting. And in less than 365 days, we're going to find out whether we even still have control of the House of Representatives. She needs to get on the stick. Why she hasn't, I have no clue. And I want to know what billionaire thinks they can get away with having sex with a kid. So,
amen.